I heard the laughter before I saw the smile. Polished, rehearsed, charming to the untrained eye. He was mid-toast, arm draped around my daughter's waist, voice rich with confidence, words flowing like honey poison. Everyone laughed. Everyone clapped. And my daughter, she glowed like a woman in love. But I saw what they didn't. I saw the mask. And behind it, the hunger. So I stayed quiet. 3 days after the wedding, he appeared on my doorstep. No pleasantries. No hello. Just a thick manila envelope tucked under his arm, a notary trailing behind him, and a smirk that barely concealed his anticipation. Just need your signature, Dad, he said, the words sour in his mouth. Power of attorney. Financial coordination. You know how it is, family now. Family. I almost laughed. Instead, I blinked, looked down at the paperwork, then asked simply, "Where's my daughter?" He chuckled, smug and casual. Spa day, girls' trip. Figured I'd take care of business for her. Save her the stress. I nodded slowly, lips tight. You think I'm stupid? His smile wavered for a second, just a flicker, before settling again. Not at all. I think you're generous. I didn't sign. I didn't argue. I told him I'd think about it. He left with a shrug full of confidence. I closed the door. Then I locked it. No emotion. No rage. Just focus. Because that was the real beginning. I met my wife when I had nothing. She came from old money. But unlike the circles she moved in, she wasn't cold. She taught me how to build, how to watch, how to listen without reacting. She shaped me into the kind of man who didn't need to raise his voice to command a room. She also made sure our daughter grew up kind, grounded, untouched by the weight of wealth. We agreed no trust fund until she was ready. No exposure to vultures. When my wife passed, I inherited everything. Quietly, $1 million estate, properties, stocks, legacy. I told no one, not even my daughter. Not because I didn't trust her, but because I didn't trust the ones who might gather around her. And I was right. The first time I met him, he reached for my hand with a grip too tight, too forced. Overcompensation, always a mark of weak men pretending to be powerful. He flattered me, echoed my words like a mirror trying too hard to reflect. Talked about generational wealth, called me sir with syrup in his tone, thinking respect could be mimicked. I didn't like him, so I watched. As the months passed, their relationship grew, and so did the patterns. He never paid for anything. Not the groceries, not the new couch, not the flights, not even the engagement ring. If I had to guess, she covered it all. And when asked, he always had an excuse. Just waiting on a bonus. Money's tight while I build my portfolio. Classic. Empty words stacked like a house of cards. But love doesn't itemize receipts. I did. The night before the wedding, I called my lawyer, rewrote my will, transferred every asset into a locked trust, sealed tight, and managed by someone who knew what a predator looked like in a tailored suit. Then I hired a private investigator. What he found made my blood boil. My new son-in-law wasn't just broke. He was bankrupt, owed money in 3 states, had a previous marriage annulled on the grounds of fraud, and, most disturbing of all, once tried to marry an older widow who died before she could change her will. I compiled it all. Bank statements, divorce records, aliases, a pristine, bulletproof dossier. Then I waited. The wedding was flawless on the surface. Vows, tears, champagne. My daughter cried. So did he. Tears manufactured by men who see weddings not as unions, but as acquisitions. 3 days later, he brought the notary to my door. That was his move. Now it was my turn. 2 weeks later, my daughter called me. Her voice was small, uncertain. "Dad, did you add a prenup to our wedding documents?" "No," I said calmly. "But you should have." Silence, then a soft sniffle. The first crack in her belief. Exactly where I needed her. That night, I sent the file. No drama. No warning. Just the facts. Flight receipts. Bank transfers. Fake job histories. Even a voice recording from a notary, who confessed after I reached out that her new husband offered him $5,000 to secure my signature under the pretense of a family emergency. My daughter didn't sleep that night. The next day, she came home alone. The confrontation wasn't explosive. It didn't need to be. She walked in, dropped a folder on the kitchen table, and said one word: explain. He fumbled, called it a smear campaign, said I forged everything, laughed nervously, then accused me of jealousy. Then he snapped, called her stupid, called me a leech. She said nothing, just hit record, captured every word. Then she walked away. She filed for annulment the next morning, froze their joint accounts, filed a restraining order when he wouldn't stop texting. I took care of the rest, sent the full file to his creditors, to his probation officer. Turns out he'd violated multiple terms of his release. He's facing charges now: fraud, perjury, parole violations. His assets, what little existed, are being liquidated. And my daughter? She's healing. Last week, she asked why I never told her about this state. I looked at her for a long moment and said, because love blinds us, and I needed to be the one who could see. She nodded. No questions, no anger, just understanding. Funny, isn't it? He thought marrying my daughter was a shortcut to wealth, a straight shot to luxury. He never realized he'd stepped onto a chessboard I'd been playing for decades. He played checkers. I played quiet. I played long. And I won, without shouting, without lifting a finger, without spending a cent. Because justice doesn't always crash through the door. Sometimes it whispers. And sometimes it waits patiently for the perfect move.